just to see the club fight back like that was just really inspiring.
Being at a football game like that and being as invested as we are was absolute torture. In every way, I loved every second of it, but it was it certainly had its moments of agony. Normally I'm only heckled in my home, so this was that was sort of new for me and sort of weirdly thrilling. I loved watching the club out there. Obviously that was, for a moment there, it was pretty damn exciting. Felt like they really showed their stuff, particularly in the second half, and I thought, I just can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be exciting.
What about the welcome you've already had here in Wrexham? What have you made of it?
It's been incredible.
Yeah.
It's been incredible. I mean, we've only been here for 2 days, and we just feel like we've been welcomed home.
Yeah, they'll be bored of us soon, I hope. But it's been pretty amazing. I mean, last night we were at the turf and probably had a few more drinks than we should have. But it was really exciting to be there with Wayne Jones.
We did.
I hear you've been with the players today training. How did the penalty shootouts go?
Ryan, would you like to? Yeah, would
Rob
you like to tell
one.
the media?
Rob got. I wore ice skates, which was a stupid move right off the bat. But it was really fun to. The thing that I loved most about it was just having the time to hang out with the players and sort of break down that weird wall, because it's been well over a year of us watching from afar, and I'm sure a lot of the guys on the pitch have been, who are these guys and what is this and how is this going to work? So it was just nice to have those little moments in between. The sort of the pomp and circumstance with the cameras and all that stuff, but it was the moments in between that where we really got to hang out and sort of chat and get to know each other, which was invaluable. In fact, we're kind of talking now about changing our schedule and order of things in the next couple of days just to spend a little bit more time with them.
Just a drink.
And their attitudes were incredible. I mean, they're professional athletes, but each of them, you'd almost never know it when you chat. It's they have a sort of infused and built-in humility that was really wonderful to witness.
You've had a taste of it now. For the very first time, you've been here, you've seen what you've taken over. What is the ambition? What is the long-term aim? And how long are you in it for?
Well, most people would say we want to get to the Premier League, but actually we're going to take everyone to space. Yeah, lately that's been the thing.
Yeah.
That's
all recent discussions.
Yeah, that's
all
a recent discussion just on the way up here.
Yeah.
Steps. I think it's to win-win-win, but everything we do is in lockstep with the community of Wrexham, and that's a huge part of the attraction for us. The support that this club has had in the past and has now is our job is really mostly just to remind the supporters of the club, less about introducing it, because they've always been such a huge staple in the community. So, and then hopefully to make sure that Wrexham is the name. It's something that's a little bit more global than it is now. That's a big priority for us, is expanding and growing the club in every way we can.
And the fact that the club has been around for 160 years and will be around for another 160 years, and that's really important to us. So that we want to win right now while we're alive, and we also want to set up the structure for the club to continue to win long after we're dead.
Unless there's a meteor, in which case we're all fine.
Yeah.
I was about to say that's being streamed live on ITV Wales. Apologies for the language there. Of course, you're in country.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
No. It's got two very quick questions more from me. I just want a word on what your family think of this. I know a lot of people during, not midlife crisis as such, may buy a Porsche or a boat, but you bought a football club. So what have your family and your friends thought about this as well?
I remember sitting on the couch right in the middle of the pandemic, and we were watching a football game. And I turned to my wife and I said, I think I want to buy a football. And she said, what? And I think from that point forward, as I sat there and I talked about it with her, and of course the sport had a lot to do with it, but it was more about the community. And it was more about how much I recognized and identified with, not the people on the pitch, because believe me, I'm nothing like the people on the pitch, but I'm exactly like the people in the stands. And I remember looking up on the screen and saying, I know those people, I am those people, I'm related to those people, and I think we can do something special. And it wasn't until I called Ryan before my wife was like, oh, okay, that's a really good idea.
I've been really taken and surprised with how emotionally invested my family, but also my friends and my colleagues.
What would be your perfect ending?
Well, I mean, we'd be lying if it wasn't Premier League or something like that, but this is a long road. You know, it's not. This isn't an overnight thing. So, our goal is to get us back in the league and continue our way upwards, and that's going to take some time. So, yeah, I don't think I'm reticent to get into the pie in the sky type of stuff, but the perfect ending's promotion. You know,
certainly the perfect ending for this season, but I think that's part of the beauty of this experience is that it's so different from what we normally do, which is a finite amount of time. The story is over after 22 minutes or after an hour and a half, or Green Lantern after 3.5 hours or whatever it felt like, 5 hours. But for this, yes, we have a goal for the end of the season, but we have a goal for the end of this club that hopefully will continue, and the story will be continued to be told for generations to come.
To watch your club play, but you haven't watched them play at home. Just how special do you think that game on Saturday will be?
this house is going to be rocking on Saturday. I'm really excited to see that. I mean, you know, to have the supporters wholly embrace this club the way they have for decades is nothing new, but just to be here and feel that thunder is going to be pretty special.
You got the sense when we walked in, because we've seen so many games, you know, via our little stream or imagery or photographs, but it's a visceral feeling when you walk through, and it feels like a cathedral to me. Obviously, it's been around here for longer than any of us have been alive, and I think I feel the spirit of the people that were here.
You clearly like a sporting challenge. If you're going to be in the Premier League, you've just gone and bought Newcastle or a team in the Championship. You started out outside of the Football League. So what made you decide that you wanted that much of a challenge?
You realize you started by saying, we're going to take Wrexham to the Premier League, and they all recorded it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they're going to leave.
That is the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not
yes.
saying it's this year. Obviously, that's impossible.
By the way, that's the way we've been talking about it all the way through.
Promotion and relegation, you're not used to that. You just said you want your basketball team, your NFL team, your ice hockey team to be champions. You're dealing now in a sport with promotion and relegation. Is that kind of weird to you?
It's absolutely terrifying.
It's terrifying, but it's also what makes it so exciting.
Yes.
You know, I admittedly didn't know that much about how that worked until I spoke with Rob and got a little bit more connected to the football system. But that's everything.
We've gone from the National League. Some clubs have gone to the National League to the Championship, so we're obviously going to try and go a little bit further.
And my final question, I've been at games in the past whereby some of your mates have been there. Tom Hanks has been at Villa and Julia Roberts has been at Chelsea. Who famous are you going to get to come to a game here?
I don't know either of those two people.
I would love to get Will Ferrell here.
Yes.
That's he's a pal and someone I just finished working with, and huge football fan. So I would love to see Will Ferrell at the race course.
Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts are gutted by that comment.
Tom, I just don't know him personally. Ryan's probably wrong in the same circles.
I don't know.
Thanks, man. Brilliant. Thank you.
If the way that the system works, couldn't we theoretically get to the Premier League? And he sort of laughed. And he said, well, yes, but that would never happen. And I don't understand why. If you can theoretically get there, we clearly have the structure and the system. I can say, Dweedidum Shara Kamraig Eto.
How's that? You were pretty good?
Huh? I have my one party trick, which is the name of the longest town. I believe I can say it correctly. Thank you.
I will not attempt that, I promise.